Hello everyone, this is Abuhayat Guliyeva, the EFL and ESL instructor of LANDAU School. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the question types, or we also call it interrogative sentences in English language. As you see from the board, there are 4 types of question in English. It's yes-no questions, or we also call it general questions. QS I shortly presented as a question. The second type is WH or how questions, which we also call special question. The third part is alternative questions, and the last one is tag questions, or sometimes we call it disjunctive questions. Now let's go deeper to see the differences between these question types. Yes-no questions or general questions. This question type refers to the whole sentence and require answer yes or no after it. Therefore, we call this question general question or yes-no questions. Let's see the example. Are you a student? Are you a student? This is a very general question starting with the auxiliary verb, are you a student? The answer is yes, I am. The answer is either yes, I am, or no, I'm not. As you see, are you a student? I don't just hear any question word, and I directly start my sentence with auxiliary verb, are. And in my answer, I give the same. I use the same auxiliary verb. Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Let's see the second example. Do you learn English? Do you learn English? Again, my answer is either yes, positive answer, yes, I do, or no, I don't. The second example is, do you learn English? Yes, I do. The answer is either yes, I do, or no, I don't. As you see from the both of the examples, general questions, they do not contain any question words, and we directly start the sentence with the auxiliary verb. So what is the conclusion of general questions is that we do not use any question words, and we directly start our sentence with the auxiliary verb. The second question type we call WH or how questions, or we also call it special questions. This question type refers to a separate part of the sentence. To ease your job, I classified them into categories. So the first category is the question to the subject, and the second is question to the other part of the sentence. Now let's see the example of the question to the subject. Question to the subject. As you understand from the name, here we're asking question to the subject. For example, children are playing. Let's keep our examples short since I do not have enough space here. Children are playing. My subject here is children, and now I will ask question to children. Who is playing? So, children are playing. The question is, who is playing? My subject is children. Children are people, and therefore I'm using who. If my subject will be a thing, in this case I will use what. The structure of the sentence is question word who plus verb. So let me write it over it. Question word plus verb. So here I directly use the verb. So question to the other part of the sentence. As it is clear from the name, this is the question not to the subject, but to the other part of the sentence, such as adjective, adverbs of place, adverbs of time, etc. Let's see the example. I will use blue color for the example. So again, the children go to the park. Go to the park. So, the children go to the park. Let's ask question to go to the park. Where did the children go? The structure of the sentence is question word plus auxiliary verb plus subject and plus main verb. Here is a brief reminder about the differences between auxiliary verb and main verb. Auxiliary verbs, they don't have any lexical meaning, but they help us to form our sentence grammatically correct. The examples of auxiliary verbs are to be, to do, and to have. Main verbs, however, they have lexical meaning, and without main verbs, we wouldn't be able to understand each other. The examples of main verbs are to listen, to read, to speak, etc. What is the conclusion of special questions? We classify them into two categories: question to the subject and question to the other parts of the speech. In question to the subject, we use either who or what, depending on our subject. And after who or what, we use verb always in singular version. The structure of the sentence is question word plus verb directly. In the question to the other parts of speech, the structure of the sentence is question word plus auxiliary verb plus subject and plus main verb. That is the difference between question to the subject and question to the other parts of the speech. Now, students, let's go on with the alternative questions. So they are not that challenging type of the question. So let me provide example. Are you reading a book or a journal? Are you reading a book or a journal? Here you see that we have two alternatives here, a book or a journal. So we usually join alternatives with or. Here in my example, I use two alternatives, but it's possible to use more than two alternatives. For example, are you reading a book or a journal? My alternatives here are a book or journal, which I join with the help of or. Here I use two alternatives, but it's possible to use more than two alternatives. For example, would you like to have a chocolate, a strawberry, or a raspberry ice cream? So as you see that in this example, I used already two alternatives. So that's it. Alternatives, we usually start with auxiliary verb as our general questions. Are you reading a book? And we join the alternatives with the help of or. Now, students, let's go on with the last group of question types, tag questions. Tag questions consist of two parts. First part of the sentence is a general question, and the second part of the sentence is a short question to the first part. Let's see the example. It is a nice day. It is a nice day. This is my first part of the sentence. I separated with comma, and the second part is isn't it? Isn't it? Question. As you see, guys, the first part is positive sentence. However, my second part of the sentence is negative sentence. In tag questions, if the first part of the sentence is negative, the second part must be positive. Or if first part is positive, second part should be negative. It's always in contrast. Let's see another example. Kate will be here soon. Kate will be here soon. And the answer is won't she? Or Kate. Another similar example. Kate won't be late. Won't be late. Will she? Here in two similar examples. In the first example, Kate will be here soon. The first part of the sentence is positive. That's why here I use won't she. You know that won't is the abbreviated version of will not. However, in the second example, Kate won't be late, will she? The first part of the sentence before comma is negative. Therefore, in the second part, I'm using a positive sentence. So, students, in tag questions, if the first part is negative, the second part of the sentence should be positive, or vice versa. Now, let's see the exceptions that we must remember. For example, there was a lot of traffic. There was a lot of traffic. The negative part is wasn't there. Another is let's go for a walk. Shall we? Don't be late. Will you? And I'm right. Aren't I? In tag questions, we have certain exceptions that we must remember. So, if our sentence starts with there was, for example, there was a lot of traffic, wasn't there. The first part again of the sentence is positive, and the second part I will use wasn't there. So, remember that if in the first part of the sentence we have there, in the second negative part you must use the word there as well. So if our sentence starts with let's go for a walk, and the tag part you must use shall we. So once again, if our sentence starts with let's, here in the second part we must use shall. If our sentence starts with don't, for example, don't be late, in the tag part we must use will. And if our sentence starts with I am, for example, I'm right, in the tag part we will use aren't I. So we can't. That's all about the tag questions. The conclusion is that tag questions consist of two parts. First part is the general sentence, and the second part is the short question to the first part. If our first part is positive, the second part must be negative, or if first part is negative, the second part should be positive. Remember that you must use the same auxiliary verb. That's all about today's video, students. I hope it made sense. See you next time. Goodbye.